Oink oink! Percy the pig is making quite a fuss, and his sheep friends can't figure out why. Get ready to uncover Percy's deep secret and discover a surprising truth.
One bright morning, under a sky of fluffy white clouds, Shepherd John watched his flock in the vast green meadow. His many fluffy white sheep grazed peacefully, their soft wool gleaming in the gentle sunlight. Among them, a plump pink pig named Percy rolled happily in a cool, soft patch of mud. Percy loved the meadow and always tried his best to fit in with the quiet sheep. He felt safe and content, enjoying the calm start to his day. Suddenly, Shepherd John's kind eyes noticed something a little different from his usual white flock. He saw Percy, much rounder and pinker than his sheep, enjoying a mud bath near the old oak tree. A thoughtful look crossed the shepherd's face as he gently tapped his wooden crook on the ground. Percy looked like a very fine pig indeed, and the shepherd knew just what to do. It was time for Percy's big adventure, though Percy didn't know it yet. With quiet, determined steps, Shepherd John made his way across the soft grass towards Percy. Before Percy could even blink his wide, expressive eyes, the shepherd had him. Percy was easily captured by Shepherd John's strong, gentle hands. One moment he was wallowing in bliss, the next he was lifted from the ground. Percy felt a jolt of alarm go right down to his curly tail. The moment Shepherd John's hands touched him, Percy let out the loudest squeal he could possibly manage. "Squeal!" he cried, his little pink mouth opening wide. You would have thought he was being terribly hurt, judging by the noise. But it was not pain. It was pure, unadulterated fear that made him so vocal. He kicked his tiny hooves and wriggled with all his might, trying to escape from the shepherd's grasp. The sound of Percy's dramatic squeals filled the peaceful meadow, making birds flutter from the trees. All the fluffy white sheep paused their grazing, lifting their heads with wide, surprised eyes. They watched Shepherd John and the frantically struggling pig with a mixture of astonishment and deep curiosity. Woolly the sheep, a sensible ewe, leaned closer to her friend, wondering what on earth was happening to Percy. Never had they heard such a commotion. Despite Percy's protest, Shepherd John gently tucked the trembling pig securely under his arm. He adjusted his grip, making sure Percy was safe but also unable to wiggle free. With a steady pace, the shepherd began to walk away from the green pasture. His destination was the bustling marketplace, specifically the butcher's shop. Percy's frantic squeals and desperate struggles continued with every step, his fear growing stronger. The sheep, thoroughly intrigued by this unusual spectacle, decided to follow. Their normally calm morning had turned into an exciting drama. They trotted behind Shepherd John and Percy, their soft hooves making light pattering sounds on the grass. They watched as the shepherd carried his squealing load towards the sturdy wooden pasture gate. The whole flock was a funny, fluffy procession, eager to see the end of Percy's loud performance. As they reached the old wooden gate, Woolly the sheep, brave and curious, spoke up. She looked at Percy, who was still trembling and softly whimpering, held snug by Shepherd John. "Percy, dear friend," she began gently, her voice soft like a morning breeze. "What on earth makes you squeal and fuss so much?" She tilted her head, trying to understand the dramatic display. Woolly continued, explaining the sheep's own experiences with the shepherd. "You see, Shepherd John often catches and carries one of us away," she said, her voice calm and steady. "But we never make such a terrible fuss, like you're doing now." The other sheep nodded in agreement, their mild eyes reflecting their peaceful acceptance. They felt a bit ashamed for Percy's noisy performance, wondering why he couldn't be as quiet as them. Percy, hearing this, managed to force out a reply, his voice still shaky but full of urgent meaning. "That is all very well for you, Wooly," he cried, with another dramatic squeal and a frantic kick of his hooves. He struggled against the invisible hold that kept him from escaping. His eyes darted around, searching for a way out, but found none. The sheep's calm words only fueled his growing panic. Percy took a deep, shaky breath, trying to explain his unique terror. "When Shepherd John catches one of you sheep," he explained, looking directly at Wooly, "he is only after your beautiful, fluffy wool." He emphasized the word wool with a desperate grunt. He pointed his snout towards Wooly's soft white coat, which was indeed very fluffy. The sheep all looked down at their healthy coats, understanding that their wool was their purpose. Then Percy swallowed hard, his voice dropping to a somber tone. "But when he catches me," Percy continued, a shiver running through his pink body, "he doesn't want my wool at all." He paused for dramatic effect, his eyes wide with genuine fear. The sheep watched him, their curiosity deepening into concern. They sensed that something much more serious was about to be revealed. With another heart-stopping kick and a tear in his eye, Percy finally blurted out the truth. "He wants my bacon!" he cried, his voice breaking with fear. "Gree e e e e e e e." His final sound was a long, trembling squeal, filled with all the terror he felt. The sheep gasped quietly, finally realizing the terrible fate awaiting their pig friend. A hush fell over the pasture as the full weight of Percy's words sank in. The sheep looked at each other, their initial amusement now completely gone, replaced by profound understanding. They'd never considered such a difference in their lives. The shepherd was kind to them, taking only what they could spare, but for Percy, it was everything. A quiet moment passed, a shared realization of the different paths each creature walked. This was a sorrowful truth for their friend Percy. So, the sheep learned an important lesson that day, as the sounds of Percy's squeals faded into the distance. They understood that what might seem like a small thing to one could be a very big thing indeed to another. Before judging, it's always best to try and understand someone else's fears and feelings. Every creature has its own unique story and its own reasons for behaving the way it does.
Ever dreamed of being the hero? Now you get to be the star. Your adventure starts at TalesMio. Visit talesmio.com now.